At first sight, the Falklands are not the sort of place you'd imagine wars being fought over. A group of 700 or so bleak, hilly, windswept islands, roughly half the size of Wales, situated in the freezing South Atlantic, around 400 miles from the South American mainland. They possess a beauty of sorts, but you have to be a true connoisseur of wilderness to appreciate it. Whichever way you look, all you see are miles and miles of empty, undulating grey-green grasslands, granite, and scars of dark, peaty soil in which no indigenous trees grow. It never gets very hot. Even in January, at the height of the Southern Hemisphere summer, it's barely above 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And while the sun shines weakly down for much of the year, it's often bitterly cold, especially when the biting wind blows up from the Antarctic Circle a few hundred miles south. There's fishing, sheep farming, and possibly offshore oil at some point in the future. But there are no hidden riches, no gold mines, and no particular strategic significance to the place. However, it is British, regardless of what Argentina may think, and the people who live there look to us for their protection. The Argentinians have long claimed the islands as their own, but they were discovered by an Englishman, Captain John Davis, on the ship Desire in August 1592. The first recorded landing was made in 1690 by another English sailor, Captain John Strong, who named the channel dividing the two main islands Falkland Sound after Viscount Falkland, the Royal Navy's treasurer. The British took formal possession of the islands for the Crown in 1765, fully 51 years before Argentina even existed. And although there was some toing and froing with the French and Spanish governments over the next few decades, they were never relinquished. A permanent British presence was established on the islands in 1833, and our administration remained unbroken from then until now. Apart from 10 weeks in 1982, this is the story of my small part in ending the Argentinian occupation of the Falklands. 43 years ago, about how I found myself in the army and on those islands so far from home, what I did there, and how that changed my life forever. The official figures show that over 250 British soldiers and Falkland Islanders died in the war. Together with more than 1,000 Argentinians, many people have wondered whether that empty toehold in the Southern Ocean was worth all those deaths. Tragic as they were, I'm not one of them. I think the Falklands were worth fighting for. I'm proud I got the chance to take part, and I'd do it all again in an instant.